oftentimes our competitors would try to corner a market, right? They try to go in and get exclusives in this market and in this market and this market. And they looked at those exclusives as a real success. I always looked at it as I want more competition. The more competition I can get, the more companies that would come into the space, the better, because all that lifts up the tides. And then we, if we're doing our best job ever, stand out above and beyond all the rest.
Right.
Well, good day, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Sorry, I'm a little sweaty and hot here. Yeah, as you might know, I had to leave quickly, and I'm down in the Amazon basin right now. And well, we got to do the Steve and Steve show, right? Welcome.
That's right. That's
everybody.
right. And I'm in the virtual studio.
Yeah, no, you're in my kitchen. You said you were taking care of the house, is what it was. While we were down here, we had a small recon mission we had to do, if you remember correctly. And you said, I got the short straw, so I had to go down here. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the temperature behind, you probably can't, but it's about 120 degrees and the humidity is through the roof as well.
Yeah.
But our topic today, it's a really interesting. First, we got to say thank you all for coming here, for joining us, right?
Yep, and welcome to the Steve and Steve show.
And welcome to the Steve and Steve show. Subscribe. Right? We thank you that have subscribed, and gosh, we want everybody to subscribe. Friends, family, tell everybody about it, right, Steve?
That's right. That's right. We appreciate everyone. If you found us, certainly please watch more than 30 seconds and hit the subscribe and like, and certainly comment. Let us know where you are watching from. Our analytics is saying that only 26% are from the U.S.
So maybe there's some people down here in the Amazon that are listening.
Maybe.
And maybe that's why we're
at least here in South America.
Maybe. See, today, the topic we're going to do is the topic of scarcity and abundance. So, and I mean that in the sense of a mindset, right? We talk about mindset all the time. So the mindset of scarcity or the mindset of abundance. Steve, I'm going to ask you, what mindset do you think you have? And if you would explain once you say what it is.
So it's going to be depending on topic.
Okay.
I sit in both camps.
Okay.
Right. I'm curious on what was the inspiration on this topic?
Well, so you and I have entered into a spiritual exercise called Exodus 90 again.
Yep.
And we've talked about it in past things where it's 90 days of pretty intense, leaving out a lot of things that we take for granted in our life. And so I would consider that to some degree, we're making our lives the material things, the things that we're used to, the comforts, much more scarce on purpose, okay? However, that scarcity is like an abundance for me because it's taking away a lot of the interferences and things like that, and I get an abundance kind of mindset about it.
Okay.
Now, what is scarcity really? A scarcity mindset tends to be, and I'm just talking about the mindset now, is that, oh gosh, I don't have enough X or Y or Z to get that done.
Right.
I want to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Oh, well, there's just no way. I'm, in the second half of my life and I'm not in good enough shape and I just couldn't get there like that. Would you agree that that's a scarcity mentality?
No.
You.
Well, there is a level of that.
I'm starting to sweat here a little bit.
So I think, you know, when I think of the scarcity or the abundant mindset, it's how you look at something, right? So a lot of people, when the stuff that we're doing, right, we're basically talking about different topics that should help people. If they follow us, watch our videos every week, they're going to get lessons out of our discussions, and that's something that people would see of some value and would want
Even
to
if it's
charge
one
something.
nugget.
Huh?
Even if it's one nugget.
That's right. But there's value there, right? So others that have a scarcity mindset might say, well, I don't want to give my information out for free, right? With the fear of loss, of losing out on something. And my thought is that we're providing value to prove that we provide value. And you look at the market as there's enough people out there that there's enough of an audience for everybody. And so we don't have to be, you know, trying to narrow into a specific audience. We don't have to be trying to narrow, keeping our secrets, right? Everything that we know, we talk about freely on this, on the different topics that we come up with. We're not trying to hold anything back. Right. So we have that abundant mindset where it's, you know, it's out there, it's available. There's a lot of people that can benefit from it. And somewhere down the road, you know, kind of that karma thing where we get paid back. Now, where I would come back in, where earlier I said I sit in both worlds, is that, like, you know, we work, you know, we trade our hours for dollars, right? And so when it comes to spending, then that's where scarcity comes in, because I look at the bank account and go, oh man, I don't know if we can afford that, right? Where if I had an abundant mindset, I would know that, you know, and you don't want to be like careless either, right? But you know that when you're doing certain things, and you say, okay, the rest will work out and things will provide. So there is that limitation of, I think, when certain people, I think there's some people that go completely on an abundant mindset when it comes to money, and they get themselves into trouble because I think they still have the actions of abundant mindset, but deep down inside their subconscious mind is in scarcity, so they end up living in the scarcity and getting themselves into trouble.
So they don't really believe that the abundance is coming down the road.
Right.
There is a sense of faith there as well, right? There's a sense of faith in the putting out, the giving what you're giving,
right?
With some sort of a return. And however you're giving, I mean, you could be giving of your talents, you could be giving of your entertainment, you could be giving of your money even, right?
Yep.
Your work, your labor, your skills. I think that I hear what you're saying, and I would you characterize it as kind of the difference between, say, a miser, someone who just keeps everything to themselves, whatever it is, and in terms of money, of course, and someone who freely gives, you know, thinking that things are going to come back?
Well,
so Scrooge on the one hand, and George in the abundant life on the other hand, to give kind of a movie.
Yeah. Well, the way you phrased it, I was thinking that wasn't quite a good way to phrase it, because I think misers definitely have a scarcity mindset, but a giver may not necessarily have an abundant mindset. They just might have more of a giving mindset. But if you look at it from someone who's living from an abundant standpoint, they know that there's enough of everything for everybody.
There's kind of a flow that happens.
Right. And then you get into that more of the giving mindset, which I think is another topic we could probably go down. That's a different kind of a way of looking at things, and that kind of goes to that, what you give comes back to you multiple folds. But let's stay on the abundant, because we could definitely go down a rabbit hole there.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So let me rephrase then, from the standpoint of an abundant mindset. Let's say that you do have either it's talents, it's money, it's skills, it's time, or all of the above. That instead of damming up that kind of abundance, you actually get the abundance and you offer it out. Would you say that's a good analogy of it? To keep it flowing, that abundance? Or am I off on another rabbit?
A little bit off. It's the belief.
It's
the
heat.
Belief that there's
Amazon's hot.
Huh?
The Amazon is hot. It's the heat.
Oh, okay.
I don't even have a beer here.
Yeah, it's well, I do have my sparkling water.
Nice.
It is the belief that whatever you're working with, right? So if they, like in business, you have competition, right? So let's say we were buying, we're going to buy a real estate investment property, right? So a scarcity mindset for buying the real estate investment would be that there's only so many investments, right? But an abundant person would look at it and go, okay, I may not win this one, but there's more coming.
Right.
Right. So they always have that idea that it's not the only one. It's not the deal breaker, or I have to make this one because it's going to make me or break me. It's the abundance is there's plenty out there, and it's the competition where you still have competition. You want to be, you want to position yourself as the better choice. But an abundant person will say, okay, I'm going to be as best as I can. I'm going to be the best choice. I'm not going to win them all, but there is enough of opportunities out here for not just me and the guy I'm competing with, but me and the next 300 guys I'm competing with.
Right.
Right. And so that's kind of a different mindset that people need to have. And it's not just business, but it's with everything, right? Like this in Scouts, we do like mess hall, like the eating part of Scouting is a big deal. And the Scouts will jump in line because they don't want to miss out on stuff, right? So they live from a scarcity mindset. Well, from my perspective as a Scoutmaster, I look at it as like, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, no big deal. I'm going to get something to eat. And if not, I'm going to be home in a couple of days. Going to have something to eat then, but they have that scarcity mindset of, I got to get the goods now. So
right. Okay, so I'm going to give an analogy. I like yours. I'm going to give you an analogy. This is the third, and three's the charm on this one.
Okay.
Right. So in our software company back in the day, oftentimes our competitors would try to corner a market, right? They try to go in and get exclusives in this market and in this market and this market. And they looked at those exclusives as a real success. I always looked at it as, I want more competition. The more competition I can get, the more companies that would come into the space, the better, because all that lifts up the tides. And then we, if we're doing our best job ever, stand out above and beyond all the rest.
Right.
And we end up getting a much more exposed audience, and they come and say, well, I like this software. And we end up actually getting more sales instead of less with that mindset. Did I just describe abundance?
Yeah, you had the concept that there's plenty of room for additional competition, right? The beauty of competition is because it's out there, it drives you to continue to improve, right? To differentiate yourself from everybody else. But the number of customers out there, the concept is that there's plenty of customers for all those companies that are competing against you to have their share and to thrive and be fruitful in that same industry, in the same space. So how you become better and get more customer is differentiating yourself and knowing that there's plenty out there. We just need to know, are we going to have more than we did yesterday?
Okay. Yeah, you just said exactly what I said, kind of. All right. Well,
it's actually, I find most of us are in a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
there's that fear, right? And if you ever been sold anything at a, you go walk into a car place, right? They're going to play on that scarcity mindset, the fear factor, to get you to buy the car now because it's the only one left on the lot.
Right.
It's the only one that
Right.
comes, right? But if you had an abundant mindset, you're like, you know what? You're going to create another one, or there's going to be a better car that comes along tomorrow. And we fall into that scarcity mindset a lot when we're dealing with salespeople.
And so from the standpoint of negotiation, that is you being the buyer and they being the seller, having an abundance mindset will be a real advantage in the negotiation, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, well, give me an example, or you have a real quick story of a time when you had either a super abundant mindset or a scarcity mindset that you can recall?
I always have a scarcity mindset when it comes to
Love putting you on the spot. Okay. What's your worst scarcity mindset that you had?
The worst one. I do have one.
Excellent.
Yeah. So when we moved from Tucson, Arizona, up to the Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, there's a pretty similar area.
Well, that's why I decided to describe it that way. See if you catch on. Going from the desert to the frigid north.
Right.
Fargo in February. So we were looking for a house, and we really weren't finding anything that fit ours. But when we did find something, those went under contract pretty darn quick. And so when a brand new listing came up, instead of taking a step back and breather and evaluating the full situation, we jumped in and we overbought on that situation. So,
oh, interesting.
Yep. So we totally, we did it to ourselves, but we were completely into that we've got to get this because this is a good deal and it's the only one like it fits everything.
We're not going to get one.
So let's get this done. Right? And then we overbought, and that didn't go well.
So how can someone really kind of nurture their mindset so that they don't fall into a scarcity mindset and lean towards an abundant one?
Well, I think my theme for this year is awareness. So it seems like almost every episode I bring this one up. So awareness is really the key, right? So as long as you're aware of the situation and you're aware of what you're thinking, then you can have that the knowledge and say, oh, I'm now starting to think this is more in a scarcity versus an abundance, right? And then you can shift. So, and then I think you can do that if you're in sales. You can look at it and go, okay, use it for your advantage, right? Okay, I need to make this look like a scarce situation to get these people to commit, right? Because if you've had this, 2,000 white Volkswagens and they want a white Volkswagen, then they're in the upper hand because they're like, well, you got 2,000 on your lot, give me one for free.
Right. And there really is that kind of mentality in a lot of things that we have nowadays. Give it to me for free, right? That's because so many companies have gone down that road of we'll give it to you for free, and later on you'll get something from us.
Right.
So, all right, good. Well, anything else?
I think it was a good topic.
Agreed. What's that? I think there's a python under this this 15-foot bamboo hut here that's trying to get in. So I think we probably better wrap it up, Steve.
Yeah, we should. So let's thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope that was clarified to your others, if they had questions or confusion around an abundant mindset versus scarcity mindset. Look for, over the next few days, look for ways where you fall in line with the scarcity mindset and become aware of what you're thinking. And of course, if you liked the video, certainly hit that thumbs up down below and subscribe to get notifications for the next video, and certainly comment. Those certainly help us as well. So,
and to get thank you everybody, and to get that abundant mindset, basically you got to relax. You just got to relax.
That's right.
If the python comes, the python comes. That's what it is. So.
Well, maybe you'll have to tune in next time to see if Steve is around for us. Otherwise, it'll be just a Steve show.
We're not going to do that. Hey, have a great one, people. Tell everybody else about it. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy.
Ciao.